First, it was the swollen legs. Then came the blurry photos, whispers on Reddit, speculation on X, and finally an official statement from the White House. It's nothing serious, just chronic venous insufficiency.
In recent weeks, President Trump noted mild swelling in his lower legs. Bilateral lower extremity venous Doppler ultrasounds were performed and revealed chronic venous insufficiency, a benign and common condition, particularly in individuals over the age of 70. Importantly, there was no evidence of deep vein thrombosis or arterial disease.
But here's the thing. When it comes to powerful men and their health, nothing serious has never meant nothing. Why did Trump suddenly undergo a series of cardiovascular tests? Why reveal the diagnosis only after the internet noticed? And most importantly, what aren't they telling us? Because when presidents start offering transparency, it usually means something's already gone wrong. This isn't just about swollen legs, it might be about a political system built on illusion, and a leader who knows how to weaponize even his own diagnosis. Let's peel back the layers. On July 17, 2025, the White House confirmed that Donald Trump, age 79, had been diagnosed with a condition called Chronic Venous Insufficiency, or CVI. According to the official press release, Trump experienced swelling in his lower legs. After a series of tests, including ultrasounds, EKGs, and heart screenings, doctors ruled out any blood clots or cardiac issues. Their conclusion? It's a benign and manageable condition common among older adults. They even gave treatment suggestions: compression stockings, leg elevation, reduced standing. Simple, harmless, case closed, right? CVI isn't some exotic disease. It's relatively common, especially for seniors. Here's what happens. Your veins have one-way valves that push blood back toward the heart. When those valves weaken, blood begins to pool in the lower extremities. The result? Swollen ankles, a heavy sensation in the legs, skin discoloration, often reddish or brown, and in more serious cases, ulcers and open sores. While not life-threatening on its own, CVI can be a warning sign, a hint that the circulatory system is under strain. And at 79, with a high-stress lifestyle and a comeback presidential campaign in motion, every sign matters. Photos began circulating online, zoomed-in shots of Trump's legs during a recent rally in Iowa. The swelling was undeniable. Reddit threads lit up. X, formerly Twitter, trended with hashtags like #TrumpHealth and #CVIGate. And just days later, bam. The official statement dropped, but here's the thing. Would the White House really release a health diagnosis just because of some internet gossip? Or were they trying to get ahead of something bigger? The timing is suspicious, the language sterile, the tests extensive, and yet the conclusion benign. That contradiction is where the mystery begins. Let's not forget, this isn't Trump's first dance with questionable health disclosures. Back in 2016, Trump's personal physician famously wrote that he would be the healthiest individual ever elected to the presidency. Turns out Trump dictated the letter himself. Yes, a presidential candidate wrote his own medical evaluation and passed it off as a doctor's opinion. Fast forward to 2020 when Trump caught COVID-19. We saw conflicting information about oxygen levels, hospital stays, and medications. Even his doctors danced around answers during press briefings. So now, when they say 106 is nothing to worry about, why should we believe them? Here's a theory. What if the CVI diagnosis is intentional transparency, but only to distract? Think about it. Trump is running again. At nearly 80, every cough, every misstep, every camera angle becomes fodder for his opponents. So what's the best move? Admit to a minor condition. Use medical terminology that sounds complicated but is ultimately harmless. Look honest. Win sympathy. Shift focus. It's a classic political strategy. Reveal something small to hide something big. Let's entertain the darker possibilities. CVI isn't isolated. It's often a symptom linked to deeper cardiovascular issues. Congestive heart failure? Swelling in the legs is a red flag. Kidney issues? Same. Deep vein thrombosis? Ruled out, supposedly. Side effects from long-term medication use? Possible. Could the CVI label be a mask? A buffer before a more serious announcement? Perhaps after the election? Medical experts online noted that the speed and depth of the testing felt unusual for a benign issue, but felt more like damage control. And when politicians move fast to control a narrative, you know they're scared of something getting out. If Trump is hiding something, he wouldn't be the first. Franklin D. Roosevelt concealed his paralysis for over a decade. John F. Kennedy suffered from severe back pain, hormonal disease, and was heavily medicated, most of it hidden. Woodrow Wilson had a stroke in office. His wife secretly ran the country for months. Even Ronald Reagan's cognitive decline was downplayed for years. In the US, the presidential health isn't just personal, it's national security. So if there's a medical vulnerability, especially in an election year, the instinct is to bury it, spin it, or wrap it in a neat, harmless diagnosis like CVI. And now, a stranger thought. Throughout history, a leader's legs have symbolized strength. Kings stood tall, generals marched, rulers towered over crowds. When a leader's legs fail, it's symbolic of decline. So perhaps this isn't just medical. It's metaphor. A nation that once saw Trump stride confidently down golden escalators now sees him wobbling behind teleprompters with visibly swollen limbs. To some, it's nothing. To others, it's the beginning of the end. Let's not ignore the irony. Trump's campaign has relentlessly attacked Joe Biden's age, calling him weak, mentally declining, unfit. And yet, here's Trump, needing compression socks and leg elevation between rallies. The difference? Biden's team doesn't pretend he's superhuman. Trump's image relies on invincibility. That's why this CVI story hits harder than a typical diagnosis. It doesn't just suggest weakness. It threatens the entire narrative of Trump's brand: strength, dominance, endurance. So where does that leave us? Maybe the CVI diagnosis is real. Maybe it's not the whole truth. Or maybe it's the perfect lie, designed to distract us from something worse. What we do know is this: Trump's medical history is full of smoke and mirrors. The White House rarely tells us everything. And when health meets politics, truth becomes optional. Is Trump hiding something? We may not have the answer, but the question alone tells us everything. Do you believe the official story? Or do you think Trump's health is being carefully packaged for public consumption? Let us know in the comments. And if you're as fascinated by political secrets, historical cover-ups, and the strange truths hidden in plain sight, subscribe to Bizarre Blips. Because here, the truth is never simple, and the bizarre is just the beginning. See you in the next one.